Why are we so fascinated by liminal spaces? In a time where we have endless entertainment and distraction literally at our fingertips, it seems funny to me that we get such a thrill out of images of empty corridors and abandoned gas stations. The liminal spaces subreddit alone has over 700,000 members. But I think the answer lies in the question. All that entertainment and distraction at our fingertips has never been about feeling. It's about not feeling. We as a society are chronically numb and in a constant state of dissociation. So anything that makes us have any sort of feeling stops us in our tracks and almost demands our attention. And liminal space images certainly make you feel a lot of conflicting emotions all at once. Dis-ease, discomfort, nostalgia, a strange, eerie calm, all tinged with this niggling feeling that you've been in that exact place before. It's like a vague sense of déjà vu, the echoes of déjà vu. When you look at certain liminal spaces, it gives you this beautiful forlorn feeling, like looking at a picture of an old place in your childhood hometown you will never go to again, or a picture of an old friend you don't talk to anymore. The appeal of liminal spaces is often assigned to their frozen and slightly unsettling appearance, but also that indefinite sense of familiarity they evoke. The depicted spaces often include late 20th and early 21st century architecture and furniture, linoleum tilings, ceiling tiles, and cool toned fluorescent lighting that creates a detached, unwelcoming and cold feeling. The aesthetic may convey moods of eeriness, surrealness, nostalgia or sadness, and elicit responses of both comfort and unease. This is all due to one main element that all these images have in common: canopsia. Canopsia, a term coined by John Cohen in his Dictionary of Obscure Sorrows, encapsulates the eerie, almost palpable sense of emptiness that pervades a space once inhabited and bustling with life, now left abandoned and desolate. Evoking a melancholic ambience, canopsia invites contemplation on the passage of time and the impermanence of human presence. This concept prompts reflection on the interplay between environment and memory, as the echoes of past activity linger amongst the silent, vacant corridors and forgotten structures. Canopsia serves as a poignant reminder of the transience inherent in human existence, inviting observers to confront the haunting beauty of abandoned spaces while pondering their own place within the ever-shifting landscape of human civilization. Canopsia shares thematic resonance with the concept of non-places, elucidated by French anthropologist Marc Auger. Auger defines non-places as spaces of transience, such as airports, highways, and shopping malls, where individuals pass through without forming significant connections or experiences. Both canopsia and non-places encapsulate the disconnection between human presence and the environment, albeit in different contexts. While canopsia focuses on the haunting emptiness of abandoned spaces once bustling with life, non-places highlight the anonymity and lack of meaningful interaction inherent in contemporary urban landscapes. Canopsia and non-places are both concepts that are at play with liminal spaces images. Liminal spaces can also be described as the uncanny valley of architecture. The uncanny valley is a concept in robotics, artificial intelligence, and animation, referring to the point at which a humanoid object or entity, such as a robot or CGI character, becomes eerily lifelike, but not convincingly so, eliciting a feeling of unease or revulsion in human observers. This discomfort arises from the discrepancy between the object's almost human appearance and its lack of genuine human characteristics or behavior, leading to a sense of cognitive dissonance. Much like the uncanny valley, liminal spaces occupy a middle ground between familiarity and strangeness. They are neither fully integrated into the functional aspects of a structure, nor entirely divorced from human experience. Instead, they exist in a state of architectural ambiguity, where the boundaries between inside and outside, public and private, or purposeful and purposeless blur. I don't think it's possible to talk about liminal spaces without talking about the anthropological term that essentially underpins the whole internet aesthetic. In anthropology, the term liminal space refers to a concept originating from the work of Arnold van Gennep and further developed by Victor Turner. Liminality describes a state of transition or ambiguity that occurs during rites of passage or rituals within various cultures. It represents a phase in which individuals or groups are betwixt and between two distinct stages of social or cultural identity. These spaces often evoke feelings of disorientation, ambiguity, and uncertainty as individuals navigate the liminal phase between between their previous status and the one they aspire to attain. Examples of liminal spaces include initiation rites, marriage ceremonies, and funeral rituals, where participants undergo symbolic or physical transitions that mark significant life changes. These transitional phases are not only pivotal moments in individuals' lives, but also opportunities for collective reflection and cultural reaffirmation. Anxiety and uncertainty are intrinsic components of liminality, contributing to its psychological complexity and significance. This is another point of fascination for me, that this philosophical, anthropological concept has a complementary and symbolic aesthetic, and one that is so visceral. As a photographer, I also find liminal spaces especially intriguing. It really is a testimony to the power of photography. I've spent a large portion of my own photographic journey trying to make images that evoke a certain feeling. I guess, unbeknownst to myself, I had been trying to make liminal space photography. The main topic, even the protagonist in the culture of liminal aesthetics, is the space itself, an endless passage, be it hotel hall, corridor, underground floor, warehouse, empty, unoccupied, silent. Human perception concentrates on this transfer between A and B. The way is the goal. The observer doesn't have freedom of choice. It's even semi-fatalistic freedom from choice. One doesn't have to decide, and this liberation of decision-making is relieving in the liminal space. Spatial procrastination. While not widely acknowledged as an established aesthetic, Cam Liminal represents a nuanced variation of liminal spaces, focusing on evoking feelings of peace and tranquility rather than mystery or tension. These serene environments typically feature open vistas with minimal detail, yet incorporate familiar motifs from everyday life to maintain the liminal essence of a threshold experience. Additionally, certain types of liminal music, characterized by major keys and a smooth, tranquil melody, align with the ethos of Cam liminal spaces, further enhancing the sense of tranquility. Severance is an Apple TV original that was released in 2022 and is filled with shots of liminal spaces. It's sort of a dystopian workplace thriller that was inspired by the creepy urban legend of the backrooms, which is really what sparked this whole liminal spaces internet aesthetic in the first place. The general idea is that it's a dimension close to our own that's entirely composed of infinite office spaces and corridors. The story goes that the backrooms are normally inaccessible, but sometimes, if you're unlucky, you can slip through reality and find yourself trapped in the endless labyrinth of corridors and empty offices. Terrifying. The backrooms represent an unending liminal space. You can never find your destination in an endless maze of hallways. You'd constantly be at unease, unable to find your old or a new status quo. The creator of Severance was also inspired by the game The Stanley Parable, a strange and perplexing game that is literally just liminal spaces. Again, I'm drawn back to the question, why the obsession with such a seemingly banal aesthetic? Could it be that liminal spaces serve as a poignant acknowledgement of the world's perpetual state of transition, compelling us to recognize our own journey within it? In the relentless rush of modern existence, keeping pace often feels daunting, yet our everyday experiences remain largely unchanged. As society braces for inevitable tipping points, liminal spaces offer a visual representation of these anticipatory anxieties, affirming a shared perspective among individuals. In the familiarity of limbo, where uncertainty reigns supreme, there's a certain solace found in the universal banality of this liminal state, suggesting that amidst the flux, we are not alone in our perceptions.